The iPhone 16 and iPhone 16 Pro are coming sooner than we think. That's why in this video, I wanted to break down everything, every single feature, and stay tuned till the end because I'll tell you if you're wondering if you should buy an iPhone now or if you should wait or if it's gonna be any worth it at all. I'll tell you at the end because before, we've got a lot to talk about, starting off with the design. All right, let's start off with the iPhone 16 because according to reports, and by the way, yes, everything that I'm talking in this video are just reports, are rumored. There's nothing confirmed, so take everything that I say with a grain of salt. We're just here for the excitement, for the rumors, because we love that stuff. The iPhone 16 is rumored to have a vertical aligned camera with a pill-shaped camera bump. The microphone would move to the right side of the lenses. This change will probably mean that we're gonna have spatial video. We saw the iPhone 15 Pro adopting spatial video, and the only way that spatial video is possible is having a left and right camera next to one another because that's the nature of how 3D and spatial videos work. A design change coming to this 16 Pro model, the MagSafe alignment, meaning like the MagSafe magnets, would actually get way slimmer, which would mean the cutting down on the size of the magnetic ring required for MagSafe compatible cases. Now, in terms of new features, probably the star of the show for the iPhone 16 Pro will be an all new button. We had the new accent button coming to the iPhone 15 Pros this year, but according to reports, we're gonna have a new button right here, and that would be the capture button. I'm curious the versatility and the reasons that Apple is gonna tell us on why this is useful, because technically the iPhone 15 Pro already has the accent button, so you can open the camera and then, take a photo directly with the volume button. I'm curious the way that Apple is going to emphasize this, and it's going to give us our reasons to see how we're gonna use it. I can imagine it, one button just for the camera, you open it and you directly take a photo. That seems interesting to me. I'm not saying not, but we can already do that with this. I'm just very curious to see what Apple's going to do with this. The reports are saying that the capture button would be touch and pressure sensitive, which means that you could actually swipe to the right and swipe to the left to actually zoom in. That kind of stuff gets me curious and excited because just imagine you tap this, you open it, then you zoom in a little bit and then you tap. That would be pretty cool. Now, we always have such fun colors for the non-Pro models, and in the iPhone 16, the reported colors to come would be blue, pink, yellow, green, black, white, and purple. I think the color choices for the current iPhone 16 are great. They're kind of pale, pastelish, which I absolutely love. With that frosted glass back, it looks amazing. So I'm very curious to see the new colors coming to the non-Pro models because the Pro models, that gets me even more excited. The reports are saying that we're gonna have black, white, gray, but it's still unclear if we're gonna get a pink or a gold model. I definitely want the gold iPhone to be back. I know a lot of people really don't like it, but I know there's tons of people that really do, and I was one of those. I feel like the iPhone 5S was one of the most beautiful iPhones ever made. Apple, that's how you make a gold iPhone. Just copy the iPhone 5S you made, putting it in the new models, and I'll be happy. Now, the display is also going to have massive improvements because according to reports, it's going to be the thinnest bezel ever on a smartphone. That's what the reports are saying, making it even thinner than the Galaxies, and even the iPhone 15 Pro is already, the bezels are super thin, so the bezels even literally being edge to edge, that's going to look stunning. Also, the iPhone 16 OLED panels could use micro lens technology for one, improved brightness, but most importantly, reduced power consumption. The amount of times that I use my iPhone 15 Pro right now in the summer where the brightness, since it's such a sunny day, actually have to turn up the brightness, and the battery of the iPhone 15 Pro just drains it, right? So I think the main improvement, sure, I can get brighter display, but if I can get reduced battery consumption for the brightness, that's going to be a killer one for me as well. Now, the chipset is going to be extremely powerful. It's probably going to be the A18 Pro chip, which means we're probably going to have Apple Intelligence exclusive features only available on the iPhone 16 Pros. Now, why isn't my iPhone 14 running Apple Intelligence? Well, if you understand how Apple Intelligence works and the potential that it has to do even more things, all of those features require internal processing. And the more power a chipset like that can have, the possibilities on what Apple Intelligence could do for us is so cool. We're gonna get an upgraded neural engine, which would also improve the speed of AI features. We would have a new thermal design coming to the iPhone 16 Pro specifically. Because look, I'm not happy with the thermal design of the current iPhone 15 Pro. I feel like this year we got even worse on the overheating issues. Yes, my iPhone 15 Pro does overheat a lot, especially during the summer. So we desperately need a new thermal design coming to the iPhone 16 Pro. The iPhone 16 models would go from 6 gigabytes of RAM to 8 gigabytes of RAM, but where it gets crazy is that the iPhone 16 Pro would have up to 16 gigabytes of RAM. Apple Intelligence is gonna love that. Cameras are going to have a feature that I've been waiting for a very long time. On my iPhone 15 Pro review, I said this.
Hey, whenever you have good lighting, it's amazing, but whenever it's starting to get a little bit dark, just in those moments that it's just the iPhone just doesn't activate night mode yet, and you're gonna get grainy images, right?
The ultra wide lens on any iPhone during night is not good. I mean, as I said in the review, you get very grainy images, and according to reports, that will be solved. We're gonna have a 48 megapixel ultra wide camera, which would help out a lot during night mode. The larger Pro Max models for this year's model has a ×5 lens, but the smaller one doesn't. But on the iPhone 16 Pro models, both the small and the large models will both have that ×5 lens that I use so much, so it's great that the small one is having it as well. The battery will obviously have higher capacity. Now, what Apple's trying to do here this year is have like a stacked battery technology, so basically batteries would stack with one another, which ultimately means higher capacity. Here's how the battery capacity would look like for all models. And yes, that's the iPhone 16 breakdown. So after all of those features, is the iPhone 16 Pro going to be worth it, at least according to the rumors and everything that we know? All I know is that Apple Intelligence will still run on an iPhone 15 Pro, and I feel like the big value for next year's iPhone lineup will be exactly this guy, the iPhone 15 Pro. Obviously, better cameras and everything that I talked about in this video will be amazing to have, so I'm super excited. If you're coming from an iPhone 13 or 14, it could be very worth it for you, especially if you use the camera a lot. So that's my opinion. That's the breakdown. That's the iPhone 16. Subscribe if you love Apple content like this one. I've also got a podcast all surrounding the Apple ecosystem, which I'm sure you'd love. You can watch it right here, or you can subscribe, or you can do whatever you want. I'm excited about the iPhone 16. Are you? Let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you next week. Bye-bye.